Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. You're tuning in to Fridays with Neen. I'm Justine, also known as Neen.
Woot.
And I'm here with my lovely and fabulous co host, Steph. How
Hey
are you?
guys. I'm doing great because it's my favorite day. It's Fridays with Neen, everyone.
Aw.
I need to come up with a theme song for you. Fridays with Neen. Fridays with Neen. Everybody, it's Fridays with Neen. Yeah.
I love it. I know we should come up with something like that.
Little jingle.
What is her name? Bailey Sarian?
Yes.
She has this little jingle that she always sings. It's not even jingle, it's like or even like a saying, but it's
So
really
cute.
like clever. I love it. But anyways, so how are you?
I'm great. It's super hot in the city today. And for
It
whatever
is.
reason, guys, I'm going to talk about my allergies again. For whatever reason, it's making my allergies calm down. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I
Hmm.
took a nice long walk in the sun, got my
Uh,
nails done. It's a pretty good Friday. I am very, very
that's
happy.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
how
I
are
love
you?
it. Well, I'm good. I know. Well, your allergies are better and Tony's are worse. So, boyfriend was up all night
Oh,
sneezing and sniffling and like, I can't breathe. I'm suffocating. And I'm like, did you take your Clairs?
oh.
So, yeah, it's just like I said the other day, everything's blooming, people. It
Mhm.
is, but it's so pretty out. It's so warm. I can't wait to just I don't know. I can't wait to garden. We're gonna
Right?
do that this weekend. We're gonna put because there's so many weeds. It's so
Ugh.
sad. Our landscaper, we let him go because we were like, you know what? We could totally do this ourselves. Because
Wait, was he a senior?
no, he was younger, but I told
Okay.
him we were gonna hire him during the summer because during the winter, nothing really grows, right?
Okay.
So I said, there's really no need. It's just the front. We could pull the weeds ourselves. So we're gonna do that this weekend. But it was so funny. He drove by, my mom said last week, because we have a whole bunch of weeds growing, and he slowly drove by the house. And my mom saw him and she's like, "Hi." And yeah, I know he was looking at our front yard with disgust because there are so many weeds and they are so high. It's ridiculous.
Oh man, the rain brought so much to our backyard. Angel finally, like last weekend, we had some time and she like stayed back. She was there for hours pulling the weeds. I actually think
Wow.
weeds are pretty, the
I
flower ones.
know. Don't tell me about it. Oh my gosh, I have to take a picture. In one
Yeah,
of the pottery, or what do you call those pots that we
pots.
have in the back, has these little they look like four-leaf clovers, and I've never
Yeah.
seen weeds like that. I'm
The-
assuming they're weed.
no, they're
They're
weeds. Yeah,
gorgeous.
exactly. And I'm like, why are you pulling them? They're pretty.
Yeah, for real. But apparently they like strangle the roots and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that's what Angel said. Yeah. And I'm like, oh,
mhm.
that sucks. But yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like a lovely thing. And also, what's going to be lovely is hanging by your pool as it gets hotter.
Yes.
Hint, hint,
Tell me
hint,
about
hint,
it.
hint, hint, hint.
Yes. Hello. You need to come over and we could just hang out on the floaties and chat.
Oh, and have
You don't even need
margaritas.
it. Yeah, you don't even need to get in the pool because that's what I do is I just throw myself on a floaty and I'm just there for hours.
But like, what I love are like warm pools. And I know how hot it is over there. So I know your
Hmm.
pool's about to be warm, right? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
As soon as it starts really warming up, it
Oh
gets
my God. I
hot.
can't wait.
And there's
Ah,
nothing better than when it's super hot out and you just jump in and like cool off. Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it's heaven. I can't wait. That's the only reason why I like summer because I really do
Yeah.
nothing
That's
except
nice.
swim. It's
And
amazing.
garden.
Yeah, that's
What's
it.
wrong with that? That
I
sounds like
know.
life goals right
Yeah, for real.
there.
Exactly. Just hang outside and look
Yeah.
at the scenery,
Mm-hmm. That
nature,
sounds lovely.
listen
And
to
then you live
music.
also, guys, she lives right by Home Goods and all my stores. So you're
Yeah.
really in heaven. So
Oh, thank you. I mean, yeah, it is. It's lovely. It's really nice. It's a blessing. But anyways, so today on
ooh,
on Fridays with Neen sounds like a novella, right?
it
Um,
does.
so last week when we were talking about what was it, 90s couples, like hot 90s couples, I had mentioned the whole Kelly Ripa and David Beckham thing, and mainly Kelly Ripa,
Killer
Kelly
Ripa,
Ripa, and
y'all.
and how she, you know what? Wait, before I get into that, I wanted to just tell us this. I wanted to congratulate us on our 1,000th. episode. I meant to mention this, and then I totally went into that. But
Yeah,
you know
yeah, I'm glad
what?
you mentioned it because I was like,
Yes.
are we going to talk about
Yeah.
it?
Oh my God. Okay. Before I even
It's
get
such
into
a
that,
milestone. Go
it
ahead.
is, yes. And so for those that are listening, we always like record ahead of time. So you're listening now to the day where Steph dropped her amazing crime episode. Okay.
Whoop.
Yes. And this morning when I woke up, I got an email from Buzzsprout where we, store all our podcasts, and it said that we had 1,000 downloads. Oh my gosh. And I texted Steph and I was just like, I got really emotional.
Same. I was crying like a baby. I was so proud because I was just like picturing us, in our respective recording spaces and like
Hmm.
just having fun with each other, researching. It's not like we just shoot the shit. We actually
Right.
we want to make a good,
Hmm.
impression for you guys and do good work. And so just like that, like all like I don't want to call it a sacrifice because I have fun doing it and I love that I get to see you. But the
Hmm.
fact that we're doing this together and we're able to, I don't know, like celebrate this huge accomplishment together. Like it's so special. So
It
that's why we were
is.
crying. And like,
Yes.
and it's the first of many milestones for
Hmm.
us.
No, definitely. And I mean, maybe for some it's like, oh, just 1,000, but oh my gosh, in 4 months, that's actually like a really good accomplishment. And the thing is like looking at the stats, like we were talking before we got on air, is that, you know, it's consistent. Like the same people from this, you could see people from where they're listening, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's like the same people listening and
Thank
downloading. And
you.
that's what's so exciting, is that there's people that are actually coming back.
Yeah. And we appreciate you, especially
Yes.
the peeps out in Peru. Thank you. Gracias.
Yes. Oh gosh. I mean, for real, everywhere. I mean, Peru has been such a great support, and
Yeah.
but we have people from freaking Thailand, Belgium. I mean, Australia, everywhere. It's really cool. And what's nice is like you always, it's so funny. I don't know if you've noticed this, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed this even like with your Zumba. You always get support more sometimes from strangers than
Hmm.
people that you know.
Here, here.
Yeah, you
Uh-huh.
and you expect the people that you love and
Hmm.
that you care about will want to cheer you on the sidelines. And yes,
Yeah.
we do have a little group of people that, we love and are supportive and whatever, but for me, I feel like it's a lot of the strangers that are like,
Yeah, I'm feeling that too. And it's very
yeah,
like it's heartwarming and it's very special.
it is.
So I mean, I'm so excited for us. And also another milestone, when we drop this episode of Fridays with Neen, it'll be episode 30.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that's insane. It's so crazy. And you know what? We're having so much fun with it. And it's
Yeah.
so humbling because like Steph said, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, who that, and you know what? I know we both do a lot of different things, but for this is such like a humbling experience because like growing up, I always said I just wanted a job or something, an outlet where I can just have fun and enjoy. And I hope, we're not professionals. We're doing this because we enjoy it and we love it and we want to share things with people. But I hope that people get something out of it as well. And I think
I
they are.
totally agree. I think so. I think the stats speak for itself. And,
Hmm.
obviously we're doing something right. And I
Yes.
feel so proud and fortunate to be here. And every single time we get together to record,
I
it's a
agree.
magical and special experience. And we're going to
For
remember this.
real.
And now, thanks to you for saying it, like we're going to
Hmm.
have this episode to remember. Like, oh my God,
Yes.
remember when yeah.
I
So
know.
yay,
Oh my gosh, it's
yay
amazing.
us.
But thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support.
Yes,
And thank you, Steph,
definitely.
because I am so blessed to have you by my side.
Ah, don't make me cry on air. I feel the same exact way about you. I love you to bits and
Mm,
pieces. So,
aw. Okay, so that
enough with the
being said, I'm going to go
gushing.
back where I started. You're funny. So I'm going to go back where I started this episode. And
Yes.
so when we were talking about Kelly Ripa, I know she could be a little bit much with how much information she puts out there to the normal, her normal audience, right? But what I did love about her, and even love about Victoria Beckham and David, is that they have something special about their relationship. And the thing is that they evoke so much love and passion for one another, and they're not afraid to show it.
Mhm.
That, like I said in the other episode, it kind of puts a shield around them to where you don't want to touch them. And you kind of look
Right.
at them like, wow, like goals, like,
Definitely.
wow, I wish I could be like that with my partner,
Mhm.
because who wouldn't want a supportive partner, or a partner that you could go dancing with, or a partner that wants to show affection with you as the years go on? I mean, look at how long they've been together. A lot of times things like that fizzle out, and you don't see that with them. And I find that so lovely and so endearing. So when I saw that and we were talking about it, it kind of sparked like a light bulb, and it just clicked. And I was like, you know what? I want to talk about how to keep the fire alive in a relationship, mainly a marriage, because I feel like a lot of times people lose that along the way, and it doesn't have to be the case, especially when you're with your soulmate. It is kind of effortless, and you kind of want to keep that fire alive. So, Steph, I have a question for you. Do
Mhm.
you believe that love and intimacy can last forever? Or do you think that over time it's just meant to fizzle, and you just become more like companions because maybe, women's sex drive goes down or whatever, and, you're more just there to be with each other? Or do you think that well into your 80s or 90s, this love can continue and be just as exciting as it was in the beginning?
I used to think that in prior relationships that as one got older, you would be more like, friends, like
Hmm.
roommates, but like
Right.
so you still love each other, but like maybe the intimate side of the relationship sort of naturally just fizzles.
Hmm.
I don't think that's the case for me and Angel. Like I
Hmm.
seriously, like this is the first time that I feel that I can truly say that the intimacy and the love go hand in hand. And, I can see us lasting the way we are until like the end of time. One of us kicks the bucket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like I just love her. Like we're flirting with each other nonstop. Like I catch myself
Hmm.
checking her out as she's walking ahead of me. Like, you know what I
And
mean?
that's
Like,
true. Because even when I'm over your house, you're always like, hey.
yeah, I can't help it. Like I flirt
Uh-huh.
with her while I'm teaching my Zumba class. Like
Hmm.
it's no secret that like I am just head over heels in love with my wife.
Hmm.
And we've been together now, it's not like we've been together for 15 years, but we've been together over 5. And it is like as exciting as it was the first year.
Hmm.
So yes, I can say that we're going to be little old ladies, little old lesbian
Hmm.
couple that are just in love and, all that good stuff.
Yes,
How
no,
about you?
and I love that. No, and I feel like that's the same for me. So, like, I kind of think, remember the movie The Fockers?
Hmm.
And what was it? Meet the Fockers, when they go and meet his parents, Roz
Hmm.
and George.
Yeah.
So Gaylord is so embarrassed by his parents because his mom is a sex therapist, and
Yeah.
she's there to like help them with their, movements, their sexual movements, but also how to keep intimacy alive even though you're older, right?
Hmm.
Um and it was something that he just seemed to get really annoyed with, but I love that movie because I find it so endearing, and I
Hmm.
find it so true because, like you said, when you find the person that you're comfortable with, and you find the person that is your soulmate, like your other half, those things that you had when you first started dating should continue throughout your relationship, no matter how long you've been together.
Hmm.
And I think that it's important always to show affection and passion, especially in front of your children,
Hmm.
because to an extent, of course, like, you don't want to be too much, right? But it's really important for them to see that you want to express and maintain like a goofy, loving, and really wholesome like relationship with your spouse. I think like sometimes we forget that kids grow up and they see their parents, and they often emulate and use them as an example of how they should treat their partners in the future and how to really love someone. And for people that think that kids don't see that or don't, or, for example, I know someone that was in like a really abusive relationship long time ago, and their kids pretty much thought that's how you treat people. And so as they got older, they saw patterns of what used to happen in their relationship that they had with their ex-partner. And the way they talked to, their girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, or how they treated, even how they treated people, but that's what they thought was normal.
Yeah.
And
Like,
it's kind of like with animals. People think that animals don't understand. And it's same with kids. Kids are like sponges, and they learn habits and they learn how to treat people. And I think that with kids, you have to teach them from a young age how to be respectful, but also how to instill things, how to be like, especially for a man, how to be like chivalrous, open doors for people, little goes a long way. I feel like chivalry is gone. And I feel like it's
yeah,
still something that women want, people want, you know,
of
right? I mean,
course.
I mean,
Who
I
doesn't
love
want a
when
man
Tony
to
opens
open
the
the
door.
exactly? I always, if I'm not Angel, we try to race each other to open the door for the other.
Yes.
You're right. What happened to that?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's just, I feel like it's something you have to ingrain in your kids since you're little, but it's so healthy for them to see their parents loving on one another, hugging, kissing, and just showing affection. And it doesn't have to be something that's gross or weird, but it could be healthy. I mean, I know I used to get grossed out by it, but at the same time, though, it also made me realize, oh, wow, my parents really love each other. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Um, so I was just thinking, so is it me? And maybe I don't know if you've probably seen these things on social media like Instagram and stuff where people get super hateful towards people that show love or express love for the person you're with. So when you make like videos or reels of, your partner, you some people get really irritated by that. Have you noticed that?
I post a lot of reels of us,
Hmm.
and I know that there's people who are probably, I know that there's people actually for a fact that they're like,
Really?
here we go again, but they just don't react or like or
Hmm.
love, how you can do the
Oh
reactions on
yeah,
social
that's true.
media.
Hmm.
I haven't gotten anything hateful said, thankfully.
Hmm.
But yeah, I know that I've seen that on other people's like TikToks or whatever. Like, oh, get
Yeah.
a room, or we're tired of seeing you guys. Like,
Yes.
okay, you're
Exactly.
probably like alone in your like attic room, like being bitter. Just don't say anything at all. Like, sorry, they're happy
Exactly. Right. And I mean, why do you think that is? Like, in your opinion?
because they're unhappy. They don't think that they're gonna
Hmm.
find somebody to be happy with. I mean, how about those freaking trends that where the husband or wife go up to their partner and with two flashcards, like it's like a date, and then they
Hmm.
pick the card and they're all cute like throughout the date.
Oh, yeah.
Those adore. I'm gonna do that with Angel, by the way. Those people are hateful on those, and it's the most purest thing on earth. It's like, let people love, and I'm sorry that
Yes.
you feel like you're not going to
Hmm.
find that, but you're
Exactly.
not going to find anyone even more by being bitter and hateful.
I agree. And that's the thing is I kind of feel the same thing. I feel like, especially now with all the woes and like hurdles of
Yeah.
modern dating, it's really created, I mean, quite frankly, people have become rather jaded when it comes to dating in general. Like people that are single or have been through the mill of different types of partners here and there, they become so negative about love. And the thing is, like, to me, it's like, obviously, I don't want to say it's something you're doing, but maybe you need to change it up a bit because obviously something's wrong. Like you're going for the same type of person, right? But just because you haven't found that person doesn't mean that you need to be so negative towards other people that have,
Mhm.
right? And I always look at social media as, it's kind of like with my dad and how I hope like 30 years from now, Presley could, type his name in the search engine and go and look at his stuff, right? And see what he had. I kind of feel like it's like an electronic time capsule, right? And
Wow.
I feel like with Instagram or Facebook, especially Instagram, because it mainly just pictures, but to each its own. Like if you want to have your Instagram full of the person that you love, hell, when you have been through the mill of
Mm-hmm.
relationships, bad marriages, and you've seen where you've come from, when you finally have a partner that is supportive and that you love, you guys, do everything that maybe was lacking in other relationships. And now you have the person that you want to be with. Hell yeah, I'm going to post it all over Instagram. And
Hell
to each its own.
yes.
I understand some people just want to be super private, and I get that and I
Right.
respect that. But don't put down other people that want to express that and express their love.
Right. And my favorite is those people that share the quote, like people who act like their lives are perfect on social media, like don't
Mhm.
believe everything you see.
Right.
Yes, I
Mhm.
agree to that, but there's also people who are genuinely happy and they're posting like their happiness. Like
Yeah.
I look at it, you know why I love to post name? I love getting that memory the next year from Facebook.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
why, like, I just that
Mhm.
I know that, oh my God, a year from now, like, and it's true, like, I check my memories and then it's like,
Mhm.
oh, Daisy was learning how to climb up the stairs. Like, all of that is
Yeah.
so special to me. And I love Angel. Like, I
Mhm.
want to document it. And it's my scrapbook. I love it.
Yes, exactly. I mean, nobody owns photo albums anymore.
No.
When was the last time you printed out your pictures and put them in photo albums? Even though that is a goal of mine.
Wait, I just did actually recently
Really? Oh, I
because
love it.
remember for the party that we had, the reception for the
Mhm.
babies, the Zumba family.
Mhm.
So I got Chalita got me a photo album because I asked for a photo
Aw.
album for like Secret Santa and she got
Mhm.
me. So that was one of her gifts to me. And I was like, perfect, because I'm gonna put the pictures. So like I want to get back to like
Aw,
printing these,
yes.
our wedding pictures and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So yes, you should do it too, or
Yes.
scrapbook.
No, yeah, exactly, especially for Presley, because I feel like even
Yeah.
for myself, like, I just love bringing my photo albums out sometimes and seeing when I was little and, like, the memories, because they're all electronic, and a lot of times things get just lost in the shuffle of everything. You change your phone, and then you're like, "Oh, where'd this photo go?" And it's in the cloud somewhere, and you just forget, right? So when you have a photo album, there's something special about that, and that's what I loved about the 80s and the 90s is that everybody did that. I mean, you were so good at that too. You have tons of photo albums.
I do, and it's part of it is because I used to work at Ritz Camera, remember? So I
Mhm.
would constantly like be developing my picture. I know we got to go through them because I have all
Yeah.
my albums
Yes. Oh my
or
gosh,
leather
such good
coats.
memories. Right? Oh my god, yes. I mean, so, I can't handle when people get mad or upset. When people want to show love for who they're in love with, right? But that being said, there was an article that I came across when I was researching this topic, and there's a website called Best Life Online, and they came up with some ways to keep marriage fresh. So they had like 50, but I went through and there was some really interesting ones, some that I already do, but some that I feel like I can utilize, and maybe you guys can too. So before we get into that, though, I just wanted to mention that I'm not an expert, right, by any
Mm,
means. But both of us, though, we have
I
been married
disagree.
before. We have been married before, right? And I think
Yes.
that when you are married prior, you learn a lot from your past relationships, whether it's a marriage or even just a relationship. A lot of times nowadays, people just don't get married. They'd rather just live happily ever after, right? Like Oprah and Stedman.
Hmm.
Um, but you learn a lot of things that you never ever want to do again, right? Um, or maybe you want to, maybe you want more of things. So I always say, how can I improve as a person in a relationship? For me, being with Tony, in the beginning, I wanted to go into this relationship with like no blinders whatsoever. I wanted to be like my authentic self. And if he didn't like it, oh well. But I didn't want to stand for like things that I went through in my past because I felt like in my past, I dealt with a lot, like a lot. And I let things go because, for the sake of his feelings, or I just didn't want people to disappoint people, especially when you're married. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
to admit that you've maybe made a mistake, right?
Right.
Um, so I just thought though that it was really interesting that when you meet someone and they say, why get married? Like, what's the point of it? It's just a piece of paper. I used to get annoyed when people used to say that. Or I'm not going to get married because that changes everything. Well, what makes the beginning of a relationship when it's so new? What makes it so exciting? And why does it have to change over time? Like, why do you
Mhm.
feel that it has to change? Or why does it change?
Okay. Well, in the beginning of a relationship, you go on like dates all the time, right? Because you guys aren't living together.
Mm-hmm.
So that changes just a little bit because I know you guys have date nights. We
Mm-hmm.
have date nights, we have day dates. And quite honestly, and I know you feel the same way, I feel like every single day with Angel is a date. I know
Mm-hmm.
I'm disgusting. Okay. Like I recognize when I say things like my friend Renee is always like, oh my God, there's a trail of ants behind you because you guys are so sweet. But it's true. Like we
That's
will be
cute.
walking and I'm like, oh my God, we get to like go home together. Like we still say
Mm-hmm.
that to each other.
Yeah.
But like in the beginning, she would pick me up and we would go out to like expensive restaurants or we go a weekend in Vegas, like spur of the moment and
Mm-hmm.
like screw responsibilities. We would be out all night. Like I remember
Yeah.
last Friday I was yawning. We went out to happy hour. I was like, can we go? Like we got our house. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need to drink my old lady tea and just be at home. He goes, okay. And then she was yawning. I go, where's the Angel, that used to stay out all night till 4? When you're first dating, you're
Yeah.
not tired. You just want
No.
to be with each other. You're on the phone all the time. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
so like, I feel like that changes, but I think for the better,
Yeah.
especially if you keep the spontaneousness of it all, I guess. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's because that's what I did last Friday. I'm like, you know what? Let's not have happy hour at home. You want to go out? Like, let's go
Mm-hmm.
out. Let's go crazy. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, okay. And then we were all like, where are we going? And I'm like, there's
Mm-hmm.
no plan. We're just gonna like let the wind blow us where it blows. So
It's the
doing more
best.
of that, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Or romanticizing regular things like a hike, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
So
I
yes, I
love
think
that.
that whole like going out on like elaborate dates all the time, like every day when you see each other, yeah, that's going to change. You
Of
got
course.
bills, you got,
Yeah,
your home, you could
exactly.
date there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like you said, why is it when you get married, for some
Mhm.
reason, it's, I feel like there's a curtain of comfort that gradually
Yeah.
begins to cover your relationship, right? And the concept, the need, the want, or even like the effort that you used to put into the relationship slowly fizzles for a lot of people, right? We're an exception,
I know.
but
We're
um
disgusting.
but no, like you said, in the beginning everything is fresh, it's new, it's exciting. You dated, you didn't live together,
Yeah.
you didn't know or even see or witness things that
Right.
you do on a daily
Exactly.
basis.
Right. Like the first time you fart in front of another, okay, then it's
Yes,
done. Like, oh, that
exactly.
already happened. But
Exactly.
or even like, waking up for the first time next to each other. That's
Mm-hmm.
already
Yeah.
after that first time, that's it for the first
Yeah.
time. But then it's still, oh, like I want to sleep over.
Yeah.
Now
Exactly.
I don't get to go sleep over.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes
Right.
I miss it, like, oh, that was cute, but like,
No, for
it's
real. Same
better
here.
now.
It is. It's a different type of comfort. It's kind of like in that episode of Friends where remember when Phoebe was dating that guy and they were all hot and heavy and there all this stuff and Monica was so jealous
Yeah.
and trying to compete with them, and then Chandler's like, that's great, but I'm really happy with where we are because we're over all that and we're secure and comfortable with who we are as a couple, like we're solid. And it's true, like there's a beauty in that. You date to kind of like get to know, if it's a trial phase, right? That dating, that excitement, but it's so exciting when you first meet someone, like that anticipation of like you're going to go out on a date but you're at work and you're having a sucky day, but knowing you're going to be able to see that person at the end of the day is so exciting. It gets you through the mayhem of work and the
Yeah,
chaos, right? Like
totally.
nothing else matters. It's amazing. Like you even ditch your friends for these people, right? Like it's a crucial time. It really is. But so one of the things they said, and it's one of the things that you mentioned, was planning a regular date.
Hmm.
So I think this is what keeps the flame alive and allows us to look forward to something like as a couple. It
Ooh.
gets us like out of our mundane routine and spices things up. Even if it's only like for a few hours a week, it's exciting. It's something to look forward to. I mean, even if you have kids, and you don't have a sitter, you could still plan something. Once they go
Hmm.
to sleep, do
Hmm.
something after inside the house. Make a picnic. Do a movie
Oh,
night. Do something, but make something special. Like
yeah.
be creative. I feel like we get so comfortable and it's just like becomes so boring, and it shouldn't
Yeah.
have to be, you know? Another thing they said is to say thank you, to be like super gracious with your partner. And I feel like that is so true, especially for women, because a lot of times we clean and, or like in your situation where you both are working, but maybe I don't know who, because there's always in a relationship, there's always someone that maybe cooks more or someone that cleans more, right?
Yeah.
But saying thank you for the meal that someone prepped,
Yeah.
saying thank you for someone that cleaned something,
Hmm.
it goes a long way. But when
It
you have
does.
someone that does not say thank you, or they just come home, they throw off their boots and throw the keys after you just worked your ass off cleaning the house, and they don't even say anything, like at first maybe that's okay, but then after a while it starts to feel like, "Ugh, why am I even here?"
Hmm.
And people don't realize how that wears on a person. And you may love someone, but these little things tend to like become mountains over time. And that too can start to spray out that fizzle of that romance. I'm
Hmm.
just saying, that's just what I feel.
That's good.
Another one is to surprise one another. Keep it
Hmm.
interesting just because you,
Now,
huh? Uh-huh.
sorry to interrupt, but you changed your voice there. When you say surprise someone, you put your naughty voice on. Are we talking about where are we talking? In general or
I
all
mean,
over?
anywhere. I
Oh,
mean,
are
I
there
think,
some
just,
ejemplos?
well, I mean, I think like just keeping it interesting and not like, I mean, I can't really say like for me, I mean, I live, with my mom. It can't be that crazy. But, like, okay, but like for example, okay, two examples. For Tony's birthday last year, um, he had been dying to go to Disneyland. So Presley and I wanted to make it special. So what we did was I planned the whole thing, got the tickets, got the hotel. Presley didn't say anything, and then we picked him up from work. Made it to where I told him I needed the truck. So we went and picked him up, and then he gets in the car. Presley had her Mickey Mouse ears on, and all our bags were packed, and he was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "We're going to Disney." And he's like, "What?" And I was
Me?
like, he's like, "I have to go home and change." I go, "No, everything's in here. We have your change of clothes. Like, change your clothes. We're going to Disney right now." And he was just like, "Oh my gosh." And he's like texting all his friends. He's like, "Oh my God, we're on our way to Disneyland."
Okay, I'm crying because I can see his smile. Did you cry?
No, Presley and I were just like, "Oh my God, we're so excited." Like we actually pulled it off. And he was
Kudos
just
to
so,
Pretzel for
yeah, she gets all pumped. She
wow.
loves surprises. Like that's her
Oh my
thing. Like
God,
she loves
amazing.
surprising anybody. Even for her birthday last year, she was like, "Oh my gosh, she made confetti. She cut out like little pieces of paper because she wanted to surprise her friends when they came in and throw confetti at them." I was like, "Presley, they know they're coming to your party. Like,
Oh my
hello." But
God.
she loves surprises. So when this happened, she was just like, "Oh my God, that's amazing. We kept a secret," and it was phenomenal. But like something like that, or even you don't have to
Yeah.
go that extreme. Like one time, Tony and I, he really just wanted to get away because, especially like after my dad passed away, like things had been a little bit like just routine, right? And
Hmm.
so we just needed a little bit of a break. So I got a hotel like in Pleasanton, which is not too far from where we live. And I got charcuterie and stuff. And I went there ahead of time, set it up. And then I said, "Hey, can we go on I need to go get something, right? And he's like, oh, okay. So we went, and I drove right to the hotel, parked, and he's like, why are we parked here? I was like, oh my God, we're staying here for the night.
That was cute.
And he's like, oh my gosh. And it was just so nice, just like chilling and not
Yeah,
doing anything, you know? I mean, and that's the thing is like, keep it interesting, keep it fun.
exactly. I love it. We do the same with each other. And
Hmm.
I absolutely love surprising Angel, although I do it a little differently. I'll plan
Ooh.
this whole elaborate surprise, right?
Hmm.
And I use the word surprise. It's not a surprise because I can't keep my damn trap shut. So I
Oh,
will
that's
plan
right.
everything, buy everything, pay for everything, and I'll be like, surprise, we're going away for your birthday with the puppies. Or like, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here. God, awful. I can't
Aw.
because I'm so excited, you know, like I
Hmm.
can't wait for her to get excited. And then we
Oh,
can
that's
like,
amazing.
like
Oh,
when I
yeah.
got the Mark Anthony tickets, she knew. Like surprise.
You're all about like telling her, but the anticipation you both can enjoy leading
Exactly.
up to it. Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
that's how Tony is.
and I hate surprises. I hate surprise. I hate surprises
Hmm.
because I'm like, what? Tell me right
Right.
now.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you
And
got
that's
to
just,
know your company.
yes, exactly. Like,
Hmm.
and so she knows that, but I did tell her the other night, I go, feel free to surprise me with, arranging a sub for my Zumba classes, telling my work I'll be out for a week, getting puppy
Hmm.
care, and then taking me to Mexico. That all deal.
Yes,
As long as
right?
and then making sure I have my anxiety meds for the plane.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Yes. Oh my God. That would be amazing. See, I'm like you in that sense. Like I love surprising other people, but I
Me
can't
too.
I'm not because I need certain clothes.
Yes, me too.
Like
I need to
Tony
shave.
wouldn't, yes, Tony wouldn't pack me enough underwear,
Yeah,
you know,
I
because
need to
every girl
have
needs like 24 pairs for a
except for a
3 night
weekend.
stay. Yes, exactly. You know, and then he would forget like a certain brush or whatever.
Or a bra, certain
Hmm.
bra. Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
I would have to go home and pack for
Yeah.
myself.
Yes. And that's what, because he's tried to surprise me before, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I had to tell you. So,
Well, here's another thing. So for my birthday a couple years ago, my Zumba babies wanted to surprise me, like surprise, like bring me to a place, and they pop
hmm.
out and yell surprise.
Uh
And
huh.
I was like, "Where are we going? Where are we going?" I'm like,
I
"You
can
better
hear
tell
you
me right
saying
now." And then she
that.
freaked out, and we pulled into this place I had never seen. And she's like, "Okay, they're in there. They're gonna surprise you. Just act surprised." The same thing with the proposal, the
Oh, I
flash mob
know.
when she proposed to me. She right as we're walking up, right then and there, she's like, "This is all for you." Actually, I go, I didn't understand, so I was still surprised, but at least she gave me the heads up. See,
Hmm.
I have to
No, I
know.
remember that for the proposal because she had told me like a week or two before. I think it was when I was doing your hairs, and um, she goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna, you know, surprise her and blah blah blah." I go, "Oh my gosh, it's amazing!" Yeah, and I was giving her ideas on what she should tell you, like, or how to. She's like, "Because I'm trying to figure out how to get the ring from her." Right. And I said, well, just tell her you're going to have it cleaned. And she goes, "Oh, I can't do that because she'll like be wondering why. Like,
No,
and I can't lie to her. Like, I'm not a good liar."
well, also, I would be like, I'm coming because TJ Maxx is across the street. And like, you know how it was so funny because I'm crying while the babies are surprising me. And then my friend Marissa comes up and snags the ring from my hand without me even noticing because I'm
Oh
panicking. I'm panic
man.
crying.
Yes, exactly. Oh, see, yeah. You got to know your audience in order
Thank
to do
you.
some of these things. But there's a way to still
Exactly.
surprise, like stuff explained, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes it is the anticipation of these things. And the fact that the
Oh,
person went out of their way to do it and plan
mhm.
something, which is
So
special in itself.
special.
Exactly. So, another thing they said was to treat your significant other like your friend. So be patient with them, go the extra mile with them, listen to them. You know, why is it always that we treat others better sometimes than the people that are close to us? And it kind of reminds me of how like our parents, I don't know if your parent, your mom or your dad ever used to tell you, do you talk to your friends like that? Is that a way that, you know, do you treat your friends like this?
Yeah.
I mean, my mom always used to tell me that because I used to get smart with her and she'd be like, do you talk to your friends like that? You know, like, and that's funny because the thing is like, we're lucky because we fell in love with our friends.
Yes, we are.
you
It's
know,
the
so
best
we
kind of love.
no, it is, and we already solidified that foundation, and we knew we could go on trips with them. We could out with them for more than, a
Yes, the
couple
trips
days.
thing.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. But the thing is, there's something so genuine and beautiful about having a friendly relationship still with your lover, right?
Yeah.
Like it should still be exciting. For example, like there's some things that you would do maybe with your friends that you maybe normally wouldn't do with your spouse. For example, it's so funny because Tony's ex, um,
Uh-oh.
so when we first started dating, Tony and I, we went to Napa. So that was like our thing. We played hooky from work and we went wine tasting. And it was a beautiful
Ooh.
day. It was raining. We went to a
Oh.
castle. It was so memorable, right? And it's so funny because neither one of us had ever been wine tasting before.
Oh.
And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I've never been wine tasting. I don't even know what to expect." I go,
Wait, you went with me in
"When?"
2015. We went to Gloria Ferrer.
Oh, we did. But was that before Tony? No, no, no.
Yes. Oh
We were
no.
still, yeah, I was already with
Okay,
Tony.
sorry.
So that's okay.
Sorry.
And that was a fun time. But I had never been wine tasting, never had a desire, right?
Okay.
And so for us, it was kind of like we felt uncomfortable because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. But he goes, it's so funny because my ex always went wine tasting with her friends. And he goes, even though I didn't want to go with her, he's like, it would have been nice to have been asked to go.
Oh,
He was like,
baby.
it was as though she never wanted to experience these kind of things with me. But yet, if her friends asked her to go here, she had fears of flying. But if they asked her to go to Mexico, Hawaii, whatever, she was down. And that's the thing is like, you should never make your other person, your significant other, your partner, your husband, wife, whatever, feel like they're second best. You
Hmm.
should be able to and want to choose them first to do things. Bring your friends with you, but I always try to include, even if I know he wouldn't want to go, I always ask him if he wants to, right? Make
Oh,
them feel included. I feel like there's nothing worse than when you have a partner and they're always doing things with their friends, and it's just like, and then you find out, oh, like maybe their wives were there too and you weren't invited. So I know there's like a time and place, and you have to use your own discretion, like, okay, this is like all guys, like why would I want to go, right?
yeah.
But it's always good to still ask, like be considerate of the other person's feelings and just let them know that maybe you'd want them there. If they want to come, they're more than welcome.
Well, hi, our wedding. Of
Hmm.
course we wanted Tony there.
Hmm.
He's an honorary woman. He is
Aw, I
like
love it.
sensitive and funny, and he was just amazing. And I couldn't have imagined him not being there.
Aw.
And I love that you said that, because so you've asked me this a couple of times about me and Angel, because okay, so clearly we're two women,
Hmm.
and women often do everything together, especially friends. And me and
Hmm.
Angel were friends first.
Hmm.
And yes, I do things on my own. Like I'll go to the nail shop, I'll go to the mall, if she doesn't want to go, whatever, I'll go visit you and we'll go shopping. But like
Hmm.
I always like, hey, you want to come or whatever? Cause like I actually love spending time with her. Like
Right.
I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
I can't, like, for the dance class that I'm in,
Hmm.
I was just gonna do it just on my own.
Hmm.
But then I was like, do you want to do it? And then she's like, I do actually. And I'm like, okay, thank
Aw.
God I asked. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so
See.
important to ask.
Yes.
And going back, the reason why I said like you had asked me that in the past, like how do you separate it? Because
Hmm.
traditionally when it's a man and woman, like sometimes the man has his male friends and they go
Right.
do guy things like burp and
Hmm.
scratch, and like the girls like go get mani pedis over here. And
Right.
like how do we separate the two? And
Hmm.
we'll like review, like I just said, the situation, like is this something
Hmm.
that Angel wants to do, or do we want to do it together? So we
Right.
haven't run into any like problems, knock on wood, yet. It's been working
Hmm.
for us. And she's just like, I want to do everything with her, just like I know you want to do everything with Tony. He's
Yeah.
amazing. We're very
Exactly. And
lucky.
and I think that's the part is in a relationship when you know you found your person, is that you're okay with bringing them places that you normally wouldn't have brought anybody before, and you didn't want them there. And, you always have those friends like, "Ugh, you can't leave. My man, you can't
Ugh.
do anything by yourself." It's just like, okay, I'm sorry, if you're bitter Betty over there, but, he ain't bothering anybody. And Tony usually will, oh no, that's like all girls. You're good. You go, but I could see where some people just get really, they just get bitter and they get, because no big deal. I don't see a problem with it, but it's always good to ask. And that's, and I see, and you guys are healthy with that. Like, at least you guys are aware of that. And I'm sure if you wanted your own time or Kara wanted her own time, she would say so. Or
Mhm.
you know her well enough to be like, no, you go,
Yeah, totally.
Exactly. But that's the beauty of it, is that you guys want to spend time together, and how magical is that, right?
So magical.
The next one is to, and for me, this is a huge one. Kiss more.
Mhm.
Dang, is this this isn't even about sex. And it may lead to it, but hell, I mean, who doesn't love like a good like makeout session,
Okay,
right? And
let's
I'm
put some Barry
sure,
Manilow on in the background.
okay, hello. I mean, I'm sure that when you think back, okay,
Uh-huh.
to when you and Kara first started in the beginning, you could think of one time in particular to a freaking amazing makeout session, right? That freaking blew your mind.
Totally, totally.
Yes. And why can't this be more of a thing?
Oh,
Random kisses, not just pecks on your cheek. You kiss your brother or sister. Like, it should be something where it's like there is passion in it.
yeah.
It should be something that you get used to, because I know they say like once you stop doing that, it's hard to get back. Like, it shouldn't just be something
Oh.
that happens in the bedroom. It should be something where you show that affection, and it's not just, throw a little tongue in there. Like, what's a big deal?
Swap some spit, why not? Well, also because
Exactly.
I can see how like the peck, can get pretty mundane and just, and
Hmm.
not mundane, but like second nature,
Hmm.
as like
Routine.
routine. Thank you. Like,
Hmm.
hi, mwah, bye,
Hmm.
mwah, good night. Like,
Right.
so yeah, that makes sense. That's good.
Yeah, it's and it's fun to practice. Like, another one is ask questions, be interested in their life. Like, for example, Kara's a scientist, you're a
Yeah,
paralegal, right? The thing is like, maybe you're not really into science, right?
I'm not. She
But
knows it.
but I'm sure it makes her feel good when you ask,
Yes,
"How was your day?"
definitely.
And she wants to
Totally.
talk to you about things. Don't shut people off because you're not interested. You
Right.
should be interested in what they're doing because you're interested in your partner.
Hmm.
And also, it's a way for you to get to know them. You
Hmm.
should know the coworkers they have. Hello.
Hmm.
I don't want to be hearing that you're hanging out and going to have lunch with, Dana from
with the
Cubicle
with the
8.
yeah, with the work wife. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
Especially when Angel wears what I call her sex pants. She looks hot in these pair of jeans. I'm like, why are you wearing those to work today? Is Linda from HR there?
Okay. No. And you know what? And if you don't get involved or ask questions, someone else will. That's all I'm
Uh-huh.
going to say.
There's always a work wife.
Yes, exactly. So we kind of touched on this one already. And this one is another huge one is go out with one another. And it's, absence really, or no, go, and this is what you said, go out without one another. I missed that word. Absence really does make the heart grow fonder. I know it's such a cliche, but it's so true. I mean, there's nothing hotter or better when like your spouse goes away on a work trip, or they go
Oh,
away on a guy, weekend, or a girl weekend, whatever. In that moment when you reunite because you miss them so much, and it feels so good to just see them and hug them and have that anticipation, like, oh my God, I'm going to see you in 5 hours,
yes.
like, that's so exciting. And it allows you also to grow as an individual, as your own person. And it also shows your partner how much you trust them, that you allow them to be their own person and go, because there's a
Totally.
lot of people that are like, oh no, you ain't going out with your friends.
Or you're not going without me.
Yes,
Where you better
exactly.
call me every hour. You better be home before 10. Ugh.
Hmm. And that shows such growth, especially I know even for myself. I must say that Tony's one of the first relationships where actually he has never made me feel uncomfortable going out with his friends. That I'm more
Mm-hmm.
like, you go, do you. Like, go have fun, go watch a movie, go do this. It doesn't bother me, and that's how it should be.
Right.
Another thing is creating rituals and creating your own traditions. So for me, this is super huge as well because I think it's really hard when you get married and you're blending families. Depending on where each person comes from, your parents are divorced. Like in your situation, you have someone that was from another country. Like it's hard because still you want to create your own memories and your own traditions as a couple. And those are vital, especially in the beginning of a relationship. And those families have to understand that. And I think that it's important for you guys to set those boundaries, but also like going forward, how are we going to deal with this? And as partners, you need to understand that, you know, you grow up with certain traditions that you want to continue. And, especially when you come from different cultures, it could be very different. And it gets so messy sometimes when you have, partners that have like two sets of parents or,
Yeah.
God knows what. But it's so important to understand and remember that it starts off with the two of you first before everyone else. And they just have to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really vital because I know a lot of times holidays are really sucky for some couples and it causes a lot of friction and it shouldn't
Yeah.
have to be that way, especially when you lay down the law of like this is how we're going to do it. And if
Mm-hmm.
people don't like it, oh well.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's true. The holidays stress me out because I feel like I give my mom preferential treatment over my dad because it's just, I know my mom's going to come over or my
mhm,
stepdad, and then I want to see my father and I have to go over there. And then we have to fly to Canada and like it's very busy. It's
yeah.
very busy.
Well, and I think like for us too, I mean, I don't want to say blessed because that sounds weird, but it's only really us. So we don't have to
Mhm.
worry about going to other homes. But for us, we're only children. We're the only.
Yes.
So you are pulled from, you don't want to leave your parents by themselves either
No,
on a holiday,
absolutely not. I
you know?
refuse.
Exactly. So it'd be different if you had like four siblings and you'd be like, oh, they're going to be there so I could kind of pull,
Yeah.
but you can't. It's hard. I would feel horrible. I don't know. It's hard. And I really sympathize for people that have big families or in situations like that because it becomes really complicated.
Yeah.
But anyways, another one is to check in throughout the day, sending like a text saying, I love you, romantic text, reminders of maybe a hot and steamy moment,
Ooh.
a sexy pic, but please don't put your face in it.
Or please don't send nudes. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
exactly. I don't know. Um, just keep it interesting, like anticipation throughout the day. Like, oh, I can't wait to see you. I want to see you, or whatever,
Yeah.
a little, reminder, a little shock factor every now and then is fine. Um, and then say I love you. And please, if you're ever with someone that tells you, gosh, you keep saying that too much, I think that person is not the right person for you.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've ever been told that, but I was told that by my first husband. Gosh, you always tell me that. Can you just stop? I think you say it too much. And you know what? You know why I said it too much is I think I was trying to convince myself that I loved him because I knew
Ooh.
deep inside I didn't.
Hmm.
So listen to yourself when you're doing certain things.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and the other one is role play. So it reminds me of that episode of Modern
Friends.
Family.
Oh,
No,
uh-huh.
Modern Family when Phil and Claire went to the bar.
Oh yeah.
Remember? And they pretended they didn't know each other, and they did that every year.
Juliana and
Yes,
Clive Bigsby.
I love that episode. But I mean, how genius is that? Like
It's very
I want to do
genius.
that with Tony
I
because you know
agree.
what? It's like because the thing is like people around you are like, "Oh wow, he just met her and dang, they're going to
Yeah.
go up to the hotel." You know what I mean? Like it's just fun. And you could be whoever you want to be. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's the thing is like being silly still. Gosh, that's just amazing and that keeps the fire alive. I'm telling you. Um
Hot.
Another thing is foster your personal interests. I feel like this is so important and something that you utilize a lot as well. Um, you know, go do dance classes, things that you love to do, still do them. And your partner should be sitting on the sidelines cheering you on. They should
Hmm.
never deter you from wanting to do things. And I think that's so important. You never want to look back in life and be like, damn, I wish I did that. And you never want to
Exactly.
think that the person that you love was holding you back in any way, shape, or form. Um, make new friends as a couple, but be careful
Hmm.
because sometimes you never know who you're going to meet and they can be very envious seeing how close you are or how great of a couple you are. You know, that whole, what is it? What is it?
Mal de ojo, my
Thank you.
nails.
Yes, exactly. The evil eye, you know, like
Mhm.
you never know who's preying on what you have, you know, and you got to
Exactly.
protect it. So, one of the last ones that I have, there's develop a mutual hobby, which is great. Take a dance class, take up tennis, golf,
Gardening.
gardening, a cooking class, or something as simple as going to the gym together,
Hmm.
right? It's just something that you guys can learn together, grow together, and who knows, it may be something that you end up doing forever, right?
Exactly.
Another thing is always compliment your partner and
Mm.
tell them how beautiful you're really good at that or how handsome they are, you know?
No, it's and also Neen, I'm so sorry to interrupt
No,
again, but like I'm ugliest in the morning. Okay.
whatever.
I look at that meme of the little monkey with the hair
Which
messed
is so
up.
adorable.
And then the caption is my boyfriend, you're so beautiful. Me. This morning I'm all my hair
Love
is
it.
torcida. I'm all like,
It's
you know, like
amazing.
disheveled, and Angel's
Mhm.
like, you are so beautiful. And I'm like,
No, and
how?
no, that's and same with Tony. I'm like, huh? Have you seen the? Do you have your contacts on? I was like, because I look like I'm like a crack whore. Like it's
No,
ridiculous.
you and Angel have that skill where you're able to just roll out of bed and put a bra on and start your day. I don't know how you guys do it.
Aw.
Your hair is already ready. Angel's hair is, and I go, Angel, how is your hair like that? She goes, I have the world's best hairdresser. She always
Aw,
says that. Her
stop.
hair is always perfectly like tussled in the morning, and she
I
can
love
go
it.
to the store. I'm like, what?
Aw. But you know, it's important because
It
you know
is.
they shouldn't be getting attention from anybody else but their partner.
Uh-huh.
Like we said earlier, best believe, you know, you can have the strongest and most healthiest relationship, but if Martha in accounting, okay,
Hmm.
starts giving your man more attention, more compliments on his hair or how good he smells, um, you know, and maybe you haven't said things like that in a few years because you know you're busy, you're God knows what, um, that could really do something to a person to where they like that attention and that attention is very infectious and it becomes like ooh okay and then that could really easily something so simple can turn into something a lot worse down the road, you
Yeah,
know, and it doesn't
guys,
take much.
listen very closely to what she just said because I lived that exact thing that she said. It happens. It's
Mm-hmm.
very true. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, constant reassurance, especially from someone you love, especially when you've been together for a while, it's flattering.
Hmm.
And, you know, and it's the same thing, like, especially now with social media, men, women, whoever you are, don't go making your partner feel less than or insecure about things on Instagram or Facebook. And I know those are just like platforms and they may never meet these people or whatever, but it still does things, especially to women
Hmm.
like it makes you always you can't help but compare yourself to these people. So if you're scrolling on a reel or on Instagram and you see, oh man, my girlfriend or my wife or my husband, man, they like that, and it's like a half nude person, or someone, ill, all raunchy or whatever, that doesn't make you feel good. And it's like, oh,
No.
my husband is looking at that. Is that what he wants? You know? And you should never make your partner feel like that. Your goal and your job as a spouse is to make that person feel like they are the most beautiful person, even if they have one tooth and one hair on their head. Okay. You need to make them feel
One,
like they are
two.
Miss America.
The way
Okay.
you said that. Oh my God.
Okay. That's your job. Because if you love
Yes.
them, it shouldn't really matter what they look like, but don't make them feel less than. Because
Oh,
social media is a culprit of so many divorces nowadays, and don't fall down that hole. Because I'm sorry, I have friends, I know people that have seen, I mean, you could see when people like stuff. Hello. And it's so funny how people don't think that, you know, things happen. You just stumble across these things. You know what I mean? I'm just like, hello, dorks. But anyways, write cards, write little love notes. I
yeah.
write little messages with my lipstick on the mirror. So when Tony wakes up, he has like, it's just like a little note, you know. And you're gonna think I'm really gross because I know you have a thing about hair in the shower. But when I have like long pieces of hair and it gets like stuck on the wall, I make it into shapes
A
of
heart.
hearts.
You are so cute. Only you
Or
could do that and be adorable.
or I write like I love you. And Tony, like sometimes Tony doesn't find it. And it's okay, real quick. Um, this is about a month ago. Tony sent me a text randomly in the morning, randomly, right? And he's like, "Oh, I love you too." Oh, da, da, da. And I'm like, "Who the F is he texting me?" Because I just woke up and I have not talked to him, and I didn't get a good morning. I didn't get nothing. And you're saying this? Like, who are you answering? I was so mad, right? So I was like, okay. So I like, he was, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I called him and I go, "Oh, where are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm over here, blah, blah, blah." I go, "Oh, well, who'd you text? I mean, who'd you say I love you to? Did you send that to me on accident? Because you didn't even say good morning." He's like, "You didn't get my photo?" And I was like, "What photo?" And he's like, "I sent you a photo of the message with your hair that you gave me in the bathtub, in the shower." He's like, "I
Oh.
actually saw it this time and I was just responding to your message." I was like, "Oh, you're lucky," because I
Oh
was about
my
to freaking cut some private areas off. I was pissed.
bad. Oh my God. Thank you.
I'm just saying. So,
That was good.
little things here and there. Real
Yeah.
quick, pack on the PDA. I'm sorry, but in the US, we are snobs. And I really feel like I don't care where you are. Okay. Show your affection, love, hug the person you're with, kiss them, be whatever. If I had $1 for everyone that complimented Tony and I on how like loving, or like especially with him, how affectionate he is with me,
Yeah.
little things, how he like will touch my face or like just put his hand on my thigh, like people notice that, and it makes you feel good. Like you shouldn't be ashamed to show how much you love someone. Like it doesn't have to be a makeout session where your tongue's like flailing all over the place, but hugging them, it's
Holding
just,
hands.
yeah, I mean, come on. I love when Tony calls me honey, because he
Uh-huh.
never says stuff like that. Like, and he'll randomly say honey, and I'm like, oh, to me it's so sexy. I'm like, oh my gosh, say
Yeah.
whatever you want, right?
What does he call you
Um,
normally?
he calls me love. Like we call each
Oh,
other love, but randomly when he needs something, or I don't know, it'll happen randomly. Be like, honey. I'm like, I don't know, for some reason it's so like cute, and like it makes me feel more like his wife.
yeah.
There's
Yeah,
something very
no.
traditional about that word.
There is. I get funny. I get fuzzy when Angel calls me honey too.
Yeah, it's
I
just,
call her honey butt sometimes, but like when I hear her say, "Oh, honey," did like if the plumber was asking a question and she's like, "Honey,"
mhm.
blah, 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 I'm like, "You're so
Yeah, it's
cute."
just so sweet. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like I kind of feel like I'm his. There's
Yeah.
just something about it. But and you do this very well. Flirt, flirt, flirt. flirt all the time. It's, it's just fun. Always include your partner in decisions. So
Yeah.
don't go buy a house without telling them. Don't go buy a car without telling him
Oh
or
my
her.
God, who does that?
My first husband did that. He bought the house and he bought the car
Oh
without
my
telling
God.
me.
My first husband did that.
Yeah.
He traded in my Ford Focus and came back in a red Honda. I'll never forget that.
See? What the hell? Who does that? It's infuriating because
Yeah.
that's something that should be mutual.
Yeah.
And two more. This one is finances. So they
Mhm.
say to be very transparent when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
And for me, money is a make or breaker in a lot of
Yeah.
relationships. And it wasn't until I was with Tony where I realized, and he always tells me, we can't take it with us and we only live once, which is what I live by. And money should not be it shouldn't cause issues or rifts in a relationships because finances could really bring you together or it could tear your relationship apart. And I know it's different for everybody. I mean, for me, like we have our own account for mainly it's just like when I buy random things or if I want to buy something for Tony, like this way he doesn't see it. But majority of our finances are together. And I know if you've been burned in the past, that could change, especially with future relationships and you want to keep your money separate. But I always find it funny, like when couples sometimes say, like I had someone that said they bought a car and they used their own money and they were trying to pay their husband back. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, that's a huge purchase. I never tell Tony like, oh, I'm going to pay you back because to me, it's just like a wash. Because honestly,
Mhm.
unless you have a prenup, at the end, it don't matter. 50% of your stuff is mine. So in the end, everything's ours,
Mhm.
So it really is just a wash. But, I feel like that's one of the things that always really causes a lot of issues in relationships. And I feel it's very important to just not make it an issue. With my first husband, that's really it was I to this day I still have anxiety about money. And it's because of him.
Mhm.
Because it was always a thing when we did bills. There was always an argument, and it shouldn't have to be that way. It really shouldn't. Um and the last thing is I don't know what the last thing is. Oh, the last thing is um go to bed at the same time.
Mhm.
This is something that I need to work on because I'm a night
Mhm.
owl and Tony goes to bed really early and I ain't about to go to bed at 8 o'clock. So, but you know what? They do say it does bring you back together as a couple. So, all in all, do you have any last comments, Steph?
I like that. I used to be a night owl, but
Mhm.
Sleep schedule has trained me otherwise. And I do think it's important to also go to bed at the same time. Half of the reason is because Angel's the world's lightest sleeper. So
Mhm.
like
So
if
if you're
I come
walking
in,
around,
uh-huh,
she'll even if you're downstairs, she could hear you.
she
Well, plus
can,
you have the
or
dogs too, right?
yes, they follow me, but she'll be like, "Hi, honey," and I'm like, "Oh, she's
Mhm.
awake." But yeah, and so I think but there's also some times where I want to like sit on the couch and like scroll for a bit or like
Mhm.
veg. So, but yeah, that's a good last one to say. And again, the importance, you already said this, but like being friends with your spouse is so
Mhm.
good. And I feel like we have a leg up on that because we were friends first with our
Yeah.
spouses. But it's the best kind of relationship and marriage. Like
Mhm.
I'm excited every day to wake up. I'm excited on a freaking Tuesday. Like, yay! Like this is my
Yes.
life. Even though I have to
Exactly.
like go to work or whatever, but like I'm so excited for this life and I hope I get to live it for many, many years to come by her side. And so,
No, I love
yeah,
that. No,
it's
and it's true
true.
because I feel the same way, and that's how it should be. And I think that overall, with this topic today, I feel like nowadays the flame is gone for a lot of people. Like there comes a point where a couple of years after marriage, it's just like people are so quick to want to get out of it, or
Mhm.
give up. And a lot of it is because they get bored, you know,
Yes.
and you can only blame yourself if you haven't tried. And it doesn't mean you have to do all these things. It just means that pick a few, start. If your other partner sees that you're trying, or you're making, like, you're going the extra distance for them, or your relationship, or you're spicing it up a little, or doing something out of the norm, it creates a new, like a rebirth, right? Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Ooh, okay. And that's how it should be. I know, like I said earlier, I know a lot of people get annoyed by PDA when partners are so in love and so smitten. But for me, I feel like when you love someone genuinely and truly, you want to show it,
Mhm.
and who gives two F's what other people think, honestly? I mean, I was in a relationship where I didn't want to, do any type of affection or outwardly show or display anything, So, in fact, actually, it annoyed me to do that with my past partners. And when people become so bitter or annoyed about how others show love, I think that it's like a clear reminder of what they don't have, but also it's a clear reminder, and it should be an eye opener of like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? What can I do in my relationship to make it better, to where I don't have to look at other people and want more? Because you could still have that, right?
Right.
And honestly, if you feel like there is no outlet and these things won't work, then maybe it's time to reevaluate your relationship altogether.
Right. I 1,000% agree with that statement. Oh my
Hmm.
God.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But that's it for Fridays with Neen. That's all I have to say, folks.
Oh, I feel very proud right now because I feel like as you were listing all of these things to do, I feel like okay, we're doing okay. I'm okay. Great.
Hmm.
Okay, say thank you. Yes. Okay. Okay. This is the first time I can honestly say that I'm checking off everything on that list you
Hmm.
gave.
Yeah,
So, yay.
for real. Like, and me too. And it's not me like bragging or anything, but
No.
I feel like I believe in soulmates, and I
Mhm.
believe in just, I guess you can create your own destiny if you want, but when you've found your person, all these things should just fall right into place.
And effortlessly. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, you do the work and stuff, but it's just so effortless with her. And it's
Hmm.
like, I definitely like the fact that we can check mark all of these things on the list that you provided
Hmm.
today and the examples. It shows that we're with who we're supposed to be with. So
Yeah. And I could
if
see us doing this well into our old age, you
Oh,
know?
definitely. No.
Hmm.
And I feel like, to whoever's listening, if like there's some things on that list that you're like, oh crap, I haven't heard, my significant other say thank you for doing this, or I haven't kissed my significant other in 3 months or whatever. Hopefully,
Hmm.
this resonated with you. And you can start to, work on that or think about what you want to do
Hmm.
to bring that into your life.
I
I
agree.
think you gave such an amazing like list of things for people to just kind of like use as a balance board, like, okay, am I
Hmm.
doing this, how do I get this done, what do I need to do? And yeah, it was good, Neen. Oh my God,
Oh,
again.
thank you. Thank you. I mean,
I-
and one thing I forgot, and I think it's important, is, and all of this is part of it, is communication. And I
oh
think that's both, like, for us, one thing that we've learned, especially in our relationships now, is how important communication is
yeah.
and how to communicate. Because if you don't know how to constructively communicate without getting defensive, that's a huge turnoff. Like, if I keep talking to my partner and bringing up something that's valid to me that hurts me, or maybe I want to change, or that they're doing something that I don't agree with, and I'm constantly getting like anger or frustration from the person that's supposed to be meeting me halfway, you're not going to want to do any of these things. You're not even going to want to try, because what's the point? If you can't communicate, none of this is going to work. And I think that communication is actually one of the first things that has to be solid in a relationship. because if you don't have that, you have nothing. That to me, that is just the bottom line. That's the foundation of every relationship. And I think that both of us have really secured that.
Here, Neen. Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Put that on a t-shirt, put that on a billboard.
Oh,
Yes. Amazing.
yeah. So, you
Amazing.
know, go kiss someone today. Go make out with your husbands or wives.
And think about Neen.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but live it up. Okay. Show some skin or something,
Yeah. Role play,
Yes, exactly. Google that episode
I
of
just
Modern
watched it
Family because it's
earlier this
amazing.
week. Yeah.
Learn something from it. But, anyways,
Definitely.
yeah, you only have one life, friends.
Exactly. Oh, Neen, you're amazing. I love Fridays with Neen. I feel so
Aw,
happy right now.
thank you. No, it's been fun.
Well then. Do you have anything else for the day or
No, I don't think so.
I
I just,
mean,
I'm,
that was a lot of amazingness. So
mm.
without further ado, till next time, we're gonna catch you on the flip side.
Oh, yeah. Peace out, buddies.
This has been Fridays with Neen. Fridays with Neen. Yeah.